Okay, so let's set the scene. We were in Switzerland. We'd played a show in Switzerland, hadn't we? And we were staying at someone's house. Well, yeah. So it was like not necessarily the house, but they had like a farm in Switzerland. Beautiful, absolutely.
We played with Black Dahlia.
We did play with Black Dahlia. Yeah, it was a Black Dahlia murder show. We were staying at this guy's farm, and next to his farmhouse, he had this ginormous barn, like this huge barn that it had like multiple floors on it, and it had been some of the rooms like deep into this TARDIS of a barn had been like converted into like a rehearsal studio, like a recording studio.
There's like a living area that had all the sofas and stuff, and that's kind of where we were, but it was fucking here, there, and everywhere in the place.
Yeah. So anyway, we're like, this is back when we were like drinking and stuff, and we were hammered. Yeah. We were hammered. Like we'd been drinking all day at the show. We got back, we carried on drinking. There was bottles of whiskey there. There was everything, weren't they? Like, so we're smashed, and we're smoking weed as well. We all passed.
Was there a bathroom in there?
Well, I don't know, but you'll find this out.
Because I sleptwalked myself awake trying to find somewhere to piss, and I just pissed in the corner because I couldn't find anywhere to go.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is why we can't have nice things.
No idea.
So anyway, we all pass out at some point. It must have been about 4:30 a.m., like 4:30 a.m. in the morning, and I woke up and I was dying for a shit, right? And I'm like trying to find my way out of this frigging maze. And I'm walking around, and I swear to God, I'm still hammered, like, and I'm walking round and round and round and round, and there's just doors that lead nowhere, and everything looks the same. There's no lights on either, so I think I was just walking around in a circle, and it must have been about an hour. Like, I'm trying to find my way out of this fucking maze to find a toilet, or even just to go outside. Couldn't find it. I'm like, and then, so I reckon it was about 40 minutes to an hour, and I start panicking because I'm like, oh my God, I can't hold this anymore. Like, this is the end of the world. And I'm like rummaging around, and I'm starting to get emotional. I'm starting to like tear up because I'm like, am I gonna shit myself like in this guy's barn? Like, is this gonna happen? Or am I just gonna have to drop trow and just unload on the floor, like right where I stand? Because I can't get out. And so I start crying, and then I'm like, I managed to find my way down to the ground floor, but then I'm stuck with the same problem, that downstairs is a completely black maze as well. So I'm like running around trying to find the door, and I'm like this, because I'm like, if I walk normally, I'm gonna shit. And eventually, I just gave up, and I was like, right, I need to find somewhere to shit, because I can't escape. I can't get out of here. So I'm looking around, and I'm like, oh my God, there's a paint bucket, right? There's a bucket of paint. And I was just like, oh my God, is this happening? So I was like, right, fuck it. I've got no choice. So I just put the paint bucket down and pull the lid off, and there's fucking paint in there and everything. And I'm like, right, okay, whatever. Like, there's no choice here. So I just pull my trousers down, and I'm literally sat on a bucket of paint, and I'm like full-blown diarrhea shitting into this paint while I'm crying my eyes out, right? So I'm having a cry shit into this guy's paint bucket. And then, as I'm shitting, I hear a creak, and the fucking door just creaks open, and the door was there. So I'm just like this.
Staring outside,
shitting into a bucket uncontrollably, crying my eyes out. Then, after that happens, I was like, what am I gonna do with this bucket of shit? Like, I need to wipe my ass as well. I've got no toilet paper. And then I remembered that our driver was outside sleeping in the van, and he has toilet paper. So now, by this point, it's about 5:30 in the morning. So I get my bucket of shit, and I walk.
With your bucket of shit in hand.
And I've not pulled my pants up properly, because I'm like, I don't want to get shit all over my pants. So my pants are like round here, so I'm like waddling to the van with this bucket of shit in my hand, and I'm like banging on the window of the van for ages because he's asleep. And then he opens the door and he goes, "What's that in your hand?" I was like, "It's a bucket of shit." And he was like, why have you got a bucket of shit? And I'm like, "Because I had to shit in a bucket. Have you got any toilet paper?" So he just fucking launches the toilet paper at my head. So then I had to fucking waddle back in, wipe my ass. But now I'm like, what am I gonna do with this bucket of shit? Like, I can't let him know. I can't let the guy who was staying at his house, I can't let him know that I've shat in his paint. So I was like, I started rummaging around again, and I found like the deepest, darkest depths of this barn where everything's covered in spiders, it's covered in fucking cobwebs and everything. And I was like, right, I'll put the lid back on, and then I'll just hide it. I'll hide it in there, because in my piss-addled brain, I thought that was the best idea. So I'm like putting it underneath everything, trying not to disturb the fucking cobwebs, so like no one will ever know. Because I was like, no one's touched that for about 30 years. If I put that in there, it'll be like some kind of ancient relic. Like they'll think that fucking like a dinosaur did it or something.
This is not just paint.
So I hid it there, and that was that. And then in the morning, we left.
Well, we went and swam in the lake.
Oh yeah, we went and swam in the lake. He nearly drowned that morning as well.
Yeah, because I was still half caught up waking up. Me and Lynn thought it'd be a good idea to swim the entire lake there and back. And I started panicking halfway through and went, "I can't do it." He went, "If you don't do it, you're going to die." And I went, "Okay." So I kept doing it. Yeah, that was that night.
Yeah, and that was our wonderful trip to Switzerland.